You know that feeling when you read something so surprising that you have to check twice if you are really awake? Well, an analyst just said something very big about XRP. He called XRP the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. And he did not stop there. He went even further and said that one day, just 100 XRP could be enough to buy a luxury mansion. I know, it sounds too good to be true. Many people might laugh when they hear this. But before you laugh or ignore it, please listen to me for a little while. I was awake very late at night on July 17th. I was scrolling through all the crypto market talks on my phone. At the same time, I was watching the price charts moving up and down. I was also thinking if drinking too much coffee was like holding a stable coin. That night, Bitcoin had done something amazing. It had reached a new all-time high of $123,000 on July 14th. But then, after that big high, Bitcoin fell down. It dropped more than 3.8% in one day. When the biggest coin like Bitcoin starts falling, most other coins, called altcoins, usually fall even harder and faster. That is what normally happens in the market. But this time, XRP did not follow that old rule. XRP stayed calm. It did not fall much. Instead, it showed strength and appeared in the list of the top 20 crypto coins that had the strongest gains for the whole week. That really caught my eye, because markets do not run only on cold numbers and math. They also run on feelings, mood, and how strong people feel about something. When the market is under pressure, the way traders react can change everything. So I started looking at the charts more carefully. I checked the 7-day price change. I asked myself, is this just people buying the dip quickly, or is there something bigger and deeper happening with XRP? That is when I came across a comment from a person called Bark. If you have spent even a little time on crypto Twitter, you know there are always many people shouting loud predictions. Someone is always saying a coin will go to the moon very soon. But this comment from Bark felt a little different from the usual noise. Bark did not just throw out a crazy number or a meme. He said he literally could not stop thinking about XRP. He was watching the token move every hour. He was refreshing the on-chain metrics again and again. He was reading every new headline about XRP. It seemed like XRP was living rent-free in his head all the time. And then he made that strong statement. He called XRP the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. Yes, that sounds very emotional. But emotions can also be a kind of data. They show us where real conviction and belief is building up among people. Of course, just having strong feelings is not enough. Conviction without a clear reason is only noise. So what is actually feeding this strong belief in XRP? The XRP community has been talking about many possible good things that could happen. Whether you agree with them or not, these ideas are what is driving the excitement right now. Here are some of the main ones. First, many people believe XRP could be used by big financial institutions and banks for cross-border settlements. That means sending money quickly and cheaply from one country to another. Second, the overall crypto market keeps growing bigger and deeper. More liquidity and more money are coming into crypto every month. Third, there is a chance that in the future we could see multiple exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, that track XRP directly. If big ETFs start trading XRP, that could bring a lot of new money from normal investors. When you put all these ideas together in people's minds, they create a powerful story. And stories, or narratives, often go together with price movement. In the last few days, this narrative got some real fuel. On July 14th, which was the same day Bitcoin touched its all-time high, XRP managed to climb back above the $3 level. That $3 mark was a very important psychological number for many traders. Then the broader market started to shake and selling pressure came in. XRP also slipped back below $3 for a short time. Normally when that happens, people would feel worried and the price would keep falling. But this time something else happened. On July 17th, at the time I was recording this, XRP fought back and climbed above $3 again, and it did this even when Bitcoin was not making a fresh new high. That kind of movement, where XRP moves on its own without following Bitcoin, is called decoupling. Traders notice this kind of thing very quickly. While I was watching this rebound, the numbers started to look interesting. XRP was changing hands around $3.25. During the day, I saw it go all the way up to around $3.60. In the last 24 hours, it was up about 10.3%. Over the last 7 days, it had gained around 33.1%. And if we look at the last month, it was up almost 46.79%. Some people say it had even gone higher by now. These kinds of percentage gains are big enough to make even experienced market watchers sit up and take notice. You could feel the energy in the market starting to warm up again. And that is exactly when Bark threw out his next big statement. He said he believes we will never see XRP trading under $3 again. Of course, this is the kind of thing moon boys often say. They get very excited. Bark is also calling for XRP to run towards $10 and even beyond that in the future. If you have been following my channel for some time, you know that I really like enthusiasm and positive energy. But I also keep a bucket of caution nearby. Statements like "we will never see it under $3 again" have been said many times in every asset class. Whether it is internet stocks, real estate, or even tulip bulbs hundreds of years ago, many people in the past said we would never see XRP under $1 again. But then in February and March, the price did drop below $1. Still, when someone plants a strong flag like this, it becomes interesting to watch. The market will either respect that statement or it will prove it wrong. It turns into a living line of sentiment that everyone can see. Bark did not stop there. He also pointed out that people had a good window to buy when XRP was still under $3. There is always that painful feeling of, "I should have bought earlier." Almost every trader has some scar tissue from hesitating right before a big move up, or from jumping in too late right before a big drop. The difference between those who learn and those who keep losing is whether they actually study what happened or just blame the market. Now let me talk about the biggest and spiciest line that caught everyone's attention on the internet. It was Bark's claim that 100 XRP could eventually buy a multi-million-dollar luxury mansion. You can pause right now and take a deep breath. Nobody is handing out keys to big houses yet. What makes that statement valuable is not that it is the exact plan for buying a beachfront mansion tomorrow. Instead, it is a strong reminder that crypto investors are always chasing asymmetric dreams. The upside stories are always very big, because the downside risk is also very real and can happen very fast. When you can lose your entire investment quickly, your mind also swings to the other side and imagines huge rewards: mansion money, freedom money, or enough money to quit your job forever. That kind of emotional picture is what keeps communities together through all the wild ups and downs of the market. If you are new to XRP and you hear this kind of mansion math, you might try to reverse engineer the numbers in your head and calculate what price XRP would need to reach. But I am going to stop you right there. The article I was reading today did not give any specific future price targets or exact numbers based on current levels. It only shared the current sentiment, the possible catalysts, and the fresh move back above the $3 level. That is enough information to help us talk about risk in a smart way without making up stories. So when we get clearer future numbers later, I will bring them to you. But right now, we must stay grounded in what is actually happening today. Here is where my thinking goes when I hear opportunity of our lifetime. For regular people like you and me who are trying to build a position slowly and sensibly, it is not about guessing the exact future dollar price. It is more about finding the spots where strong conviction, a good community, and real catalysts start to overlap with each other. XRP showing resilience while Bitcoin was pulling back. That is one strong signal. The way it pushed back above $3 after a small wobble is another good sign, and the community's ongoing story about institutional use for settlements and the possibility of ETFs. All of these things together make a case worth studying. But please remember, this is not a green light to go all in with everything you have. You should always think carefully about position sizing. And you know what I love? Simple sanity checkpoints. I talk about this out loud all the time. I ask myself, if this coin drops 50% tomorrow, will I still be able to sleep peacefully at night? If the answer is no, then I make my position smaller. If the answer is yes, then I set an alert and move on with my day. Speaking of alerts and trading, I want to give a quick mention. I use Kraken Pro for some of my trading activities. If you want to try it, there is a link in the description. It is an affiliate link, which means it helps support this channel at no extra cost to you. It helps me keep the lights on and continue making these long, detailed midnight market breakdowns for you. But let us come back to the community part. XRP has one of the most persistent and loyal online communities in the entire crypto space. Right now, Bark's strong emotional attachment to XRP is not something he is feeling alone. There are thousands of people who genuinely believe that getting positioned in XRP early could lead to very meaningful returns in the long run. Whether those returns actually reach the mansion tier or not is another question. But this kind of community belief can create self-reinforcing liquidity. People hold through dips. People buy when prices fall. People talk about it every day. New people see the excitement and come in. So momentum feeds the narrative, and the narrative feeds more momentum. It is like the chicken and the egg. They keep helping each other. Yet even with all this enthusiasm, we still need a seatbelt. That is why I like to lean on a clear process. I track simple on-chain metrics, even basic things like the trend in active addresses. This helps me see if the attention is turning into real action. I scan the news flow to stay aware of any developments around institutional settlement tests, growth in the broader market, or any serious talk about XRP ETFs or other products. I also watch how the price behaves around important round numbers like $3. That gives me clues about where traders are mentally anchoring their expectations. None of this guarantees success, of course. But it helps keep me grounded while other people are busy arguing about which mansion they will buy first. Now, speaking of staying grounded, we really need to talk about risk. The bigger and brighter the upside story sounds, the easier it is to forget about the dangers. Crypto can turn red faster than a fire alarm goes off. Bitcoin's own big drop this week is living proof of that. You could wake up tomorrow morning and see XRP trading under $3 again. It is possible. Bark says it will never happen, but the market will have the final say. So always build your plan around the question, what if I am wrong? And not just, what if I become rich? And this next part might surprise some of you, but I have to say it clearly. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile. You could lose every single dollar you invest. You should always do your own research and speak with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. Your investments are completely your own responsibility. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube can be held responsible for any losses. This video is made only for entertainment and educational purposes. Now that we have cleared all the important legal points, let us stretch this thought experiment a little more. Imagine two different viewers watching this. Viewer A saw XRP trading under $3 but froze because of analysis paralysis. He kept waiting for a safer, more perfect entry point. Viewer B made a simple plan. He bought a small amount when it was under $3. He bought a little more if it broke above $3. And he promised to check his position every single week. Now fast forward to July 17th. XRP is sitting around $3.25 to $3.60 and showing nice gains in the short term. Who do you think feels calmer right now? It is usually not the person who waited for perfect certainty. Markets tend to reward prepared action more often than perfect timing. As the old saying goes, it is time in the market, not timing the market. I am not saying that Bark's $10 target will definitely happen. All I am saying is that certain price levels become strong emotional magnets for traders. When we first crossed $3 on July 14th during Bitcoin's high, it put a big thumbtack on the map. Then we lost it during the sell-off. People started calling it a failure. But then we took it back again without Bitcoin even making a new sprint higher. These levels start to glow brighter in everyone's mind. Traders watch closely to see if $3 will hold during retests. Long-term holders start hoping that $3 becomes the new psychological floor. Bold statements like never under $3 again catch onto all that energy and make it stronger. So if $3 breaks down, expect some drama in the community. And if it holds strong, expect a lot of happy chest thumping. But let us also talk about time horizons because many viewers ask me this question all the time. Should I think in days, weeks, or years? The data we have right now shows movement across different time frames. It is up about 10% in one day, 33% in 1 week, and 47% in 1 month. These are short windows, and they show heat, not long history. When someone calls XRP a lifetime opportunity, they are zooming out far beyond these 30-day numbers. They are thinking in years. The real tension in investing lives between short-term volatility and long-term belief. That is where most people feel anxiety in their portfolio. So you have to learn to accept that tension. If you zoom out far enough, you will stop checking the price every 5 minutes and twitching with worry. Let me share a quick personal story here. Many years ago, I watched a different coin rally very hard. I got caught in FOMO. I put in way too much money with no real plan. Then I watched it roll over and drop. Because I had no plan, the loss felt much bigger than just the dollars. I had attached big life upgrade dreams to that coin. When I heard Bark's Mansion comment, it reminded me of that old mistake. Shiny upside pictures can hijack your risk brain very easily. So now, whenever I hear wild upside claims on this channel, I translate them into simple position checklists. I ask myself, what percentage of my total crypto portfolio is this coin? Which price alerts really matter to me? And what conditions would make me add more, trim some, or just keep holding? Community can actually help with this discipline. That is why I invite you to join the free educational Discord server. The link is in the description below. You can jump in anytime. We talk about position sizing frameworks, emotional traps, and yes, we also meme the mansion idea because laughing together lowers the stress. The goal is not groupthink or everyone doing the same thing. The goal is sharing good processes. Hearing how other people handled the move above and below $3 might save you from blowing up your own plan later. While we are doing some housekeeping, here is another quick reminder. If you decide to trade on Kraken Pro and you use my affiliate link in the description, it really helps support the channel. I always disclose this because transparency is important. When you sign up or trade through that link, a small portion comes back to the channel. It lets me spend more time digging into price action, reading articles like the one we are discussing, and giving you the full picture instead of quick surface level takes. If you are already happy with another exchange, there is no pressure at all. Do whatever works best for you. Okay, let us zoom out once more and talk about the psychology behind calling something the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. People reach for these kinds of big narratives when the numbers in front of them feel like the opening scene of a much larger movie. XRP showing double-digit percentage gains in a single day while holding strong monthly performance, and doing all of this after a market wobble caused by Bitcoin pulling back from its fresh all-time high. That kind of action sets a very dramatic stage. Even if the next chapter brings a correction, the drama plants seeds of belief. And belief can become sticky capital that stays in the market longer. But belief by itself cannot buy the mansion. Execution is what matters, and good execution in markets usually comes down to boring but important habits: reviewing your entry prices, tracking your average cost, setting regular check-in times, and being honest about what story you are actually trading. Are you trading the short-term July momentum? Are you accumulating because you believe institutional settlement flows will matter one day? Are you speculating that an XRP ETF will bring in big institutional money? Or are you just here for the memes and hoping for a moonshot? All of these reasons are valid, but each one needs its own risk bucket and rules. Now I want to talk about a small contradiction I have been thinking about while reading community threads. On one hand, many people say XRP will change the world, and you will only need a very small amount to become wealthy. Hello, the 100 XRP mansion meme? On the other hand, some of the same people watch every small move around $3 like they are day traders. So which one is it? Is this a life-changing long-term hold, or is it an intraday thrill ride? It cannot really be both at the same time for the same stack of coins. If you can resolve this contradiction in your own mind, your stress levels will drop a lot. One practical way is to keep two separate stacks: a long-term conviction stack that you almost never touch, and a smaller trading stack that you can manage actively. Another thought is that market commentators like Bark act as amplifiers. When he says he cannot stop thinking about XRP, he is putting that idea into the heads of thousands of listeners. That attention can turn into real buying action. Even if only a small percentage of people buy, that extra demand and thin liquidity can move the price. When the price moves up, it validates the attention and the loop continues. So when you see emotional language, do not dismiss it immediately. Instead, translate it. Ask yourself, what kind of behavior could come from people hearing this message? Let us revisit the concrete numbers one more time because repetition helps the memory stick. Bitcoin reached $123,000 on July 14th. Then it dropped more than 3.8% in a single day. During that sell-off, many altcoins fell, but XRP showed relative strength and landed in the top 20 coins for weekly gains. On that same July 14th, XRP reclaimed the $3 level. It lost it during the selling pressure, but as of July 17th, it had climbed back above $3.25. At one point, it even touched $3.60. That meant it was up around 10% in the last day, about 33% in the last week, and nearly 47% in the last month. These are the raw ingredients that are feeding Bark's excitement and his framing of XRP as a lifetime opportunity. So from here, what should we be watching carefully? First, does the $3 level hold as support on any pullbacks? Second, do we see steady momentum building toward Bark's psychological $10 target, even if it takes many months or even years? Third, do any of the mentioned catalysts, such as real institutional settlement news, broader market tailwinds, or actual products like XRP-linked funds, start to appear in a way that the market can clearly trade on? Even rumors can move prices. Real confirmations can move them even more. But remember, we are staying inside the data from today's article. These are watch list themes, not promises or facts. I am going to wrap up this long discussion with a small mindset habit that I use whenever emotions start running high. I like to label my trades according to the story behind them. For example, July momentum play, or long-term XRP narrative bet, or speculative Bark idea. Whenever the label no longer matches what is actually happening in the market, for example, if the price loses $3 and the momentum dies, I relabel it or I exit the position. This little trick stops me from staying married to a trade just because a community I like is excited about it. So where does all of this leave us today? We have an asset that showed surprising strength when Bitcoin stumbled. We have a vocal commentator who cannot get XRP out of his head and is calling it the opportunity of a lifetime. We have a strong community that keeps echoing the idea that early positioning could really matter. They point to real-world use cases, market growth, and the hope of ETFs. We have a key psychological level at $3 that was lost and then bravely retaken. And we have an over-the-top mansion metaphor that, if nothing else, forces us to face how wide the range of possible outcomes can be in crypto. If you are already holding XRP, if you are thinking about buying some, or if you are just watching the action from the sidelines, I would love to hear from you. Please share where you stand in the comments section below or over in the free educational Discord server. The link is in the description. Tell me honestly, are you stacking more when it dips under $3? Are you feeling happy now that it is back above $3? Or are you quietly eyeing that $10 horizon with a mix of hope and healthy fear? I will be there reading your comments and comparing notes with my own price alerts. Whatever you decide to do, please stay curious, stay skeptical, and always size your positions as if the market can make a fool out of anyone, because it absolutely can. That humility is what helps you stay in the game long enough to find out whether XRP or Bark's lifetime opportunity story eventually pays for a nice condo, some meaningful gains, or maybe one day even that dream mansion. For now, if you enjoyed this deep chat, please tap the subscribe button and turn on notifications. I will see you in the next XRP discussion. Take care and trade smart.